Today, I pledge to my one. I will no longer be chained to my 38. Not by fear, not by shame, not by excuses, not by what happened yesterday. But today, I rise. I rise for my family. I rise for my purpose. I rise to be the man God has called me to be. No more sitting, no more wandering in circles. This is my one. And it begins today, now. Welcome to 38 to 1. Gentlemen, hope you're doing well today. And I thank you so much for being here and listening to our inaugural episode of 38 to 1. We do have another introduction, but this is the first one where I'm able to speak with you, man. I'm so happy, man. And this is so dope. Let me say this. I don't know where this is going to go. All I know is the idea hit my spirit last week. And whether this affects 2 people or 200,000 people, I'm just humble, man, to be able to be heard. And it still amazes me that anyone wants to listen to anything I have to say. I'm so serious about that. But truly all glory, all honor goes to God. I think about it this way. We all have Netflix, and if we pay a certain premium every month, we have access to thousands of videos, thousands of movies. But we can't take ownership of it legally because it's not ours. We just have access to it. And that's how I feel about a lot of the good ideas in my life, a lot of the projects in my life. Yeah, I can't say I own anything. It's not me. I'm not that smart. I'm not that creative. But because of God's amazing grace and favor, He gives me access to it. And that access afforded me this idea, 38 to 1. I know the name sounds a little weird, somewhat mysterious, but it has a meaning. So I have another podcast called Holy and Whole that I'm very proud of. You can watch that and listen to that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, etc. And I got that idea from becoming really obsessed with studying John 5 and the testimony of the man at the pool, and really trying to dissect what that man was going through. The story is very succinct, it's very brief, but it's so much there. It speaks to psychology. It speaks to toxic religion. It speaks to holding others accountable more than yourself. It speaks to so much. And so I wanted to unpack that and try to tie it to our lives and how we can take the same lessons that this man had and learn from his mistakes and learn from his healing. Well, that was my focus. Build that, help people, and then expand it to other branches where other people are more, it's tailored to more like the family, men, women. So that was my idea. And so I've really been wrestling with John 5 and tying it with Solomon's wisdom and practical spiritual advice. And so I had no intentions of doing this podcast, none, until I was listening to another man who I follow on YouTube. Side note, I would strongly advise on social media, on YouTube, let's use that time to find men that are speaking into us. Those are great tools that can be used to help us advance our mindset, learn, become more stationed in our beliefs, in our purpose. And I'll share some of the guys I follow as time go on. But I was listening to him, and he was doing a YouTube short on the consequences of disobedience. And he brought up Moses wandering with the children of Israel. And he mentioned how for 38 years, the men that were so stubborn, the men that were so caught up in their own lives, the men that were so caught up in their own way and in their disobedience, one by one, they all dropped dead. None of them saw the promised land. Not a one. I've read the Bible my whole life. I've read it through it at least once a year for the last maybe 14, 15 years. But it still amazed me, and I think this is my theory. God blinds us from some things because he doesn't want it to become redundant, you know? Because he knows that one day I want him or her to read that and get something out of it, get a revelation out of it. And so I've read that passage in Deuteronomy and in Exodus that describes the plight and the journey of Israel. But I never saw that 38 correlation. Never. And when I heard that, it sat on me. Oh, it sat on me. And I told someone that I have this John 5 tie-in with Moses, but I can't quite connect it. And over the next few days, it hit me. But then I had it, and I said, okay, so, what is this for? And finally, the Spirit gave me my answer. It's a men's ministry. It's a men's platform. Not something that is, just a fad or just a cool saying or cool name. But it's literally a life change, a lifestyle change. It's a movement. It's a goal. It's a graduation, if you will. I really focus on 38 because that seems to be a number that is tethered to stuckness, I heard this from someone recently, and I'm going to use it. Experience is the best lesson, the best teacher. Experience is the best diploma to have, probably, but it's so expensive, especially when you can get it for free from someone else. And there are some lessons, there's some life qualities, some life goals that we don't have to pay for if we just listen to someone else and find and seek good wisdom. And I do that with this 38. When I'm talking to you about staying stuck, about going in a circle, when I speak with you about not knowing where you are or who you are or hiding, I have a webcam in front of me right now, and I speak directly to myself. Although this is not a video podcast, I still want to speak to myself first, because all of us, we are stuck. And much like the man at the pool, he was focused on his healing. He was focused on, if I could just walk, then life would be well. He was so distracted by that he hadn't realized, nah, man, other things have crept in unaware. Other issues, other rot, other mold in your spirit, in your thinking, in your heart. And that's what makes Jesus so amazing. He's so complete. He's so thorough. He said, man, you want to be healed, but I want you to be whole in every area. And how many of us, whether it is with our family, whether it's with our careers, our lives, we just cleave to one thing or just a few things. And whether we know it or not, other parts of our lives are falling shambles. That's what wholeness entails. Every part is brought to one. Every part is brought to completion. Every part is brought to its best standard. But there's 38 though. There's the stuckness. There's the cycle of lust, of anger, of what's called generational curses. There's things that's passed down to us. There's things we learn. There's things that we glean from culture that is keeping us either in the wilderness, away from our promise, away from our purpose, or it's keeping us stationary when we're not moving. And I firmly believe if we scratch out the 38, we can start one. We can start fresh. We can start over, create a new path. That's where the name came from, 38 to 1. That's where my mindset was when I thought about this, when I read this, when it arrested me. We all have our bad sides. We all have our not so pleasant sides, our hidden sides. You know what? I want to do this. The first question that God asked man, and that's both Adam and just humanity in general. The first question he asked was, where are you? Genesis 3, where are you? And I think that's appropriate to ask for our first episode together. Brothers, where are you? Joshua, where are you? I'm 34 years old, and I'm starting to turn the curve of really getting the investment returns on my investments for my 20s and my teens, the investments of decisions of whether good or bad. I'm starting to see, okay, this is what life is. This is what it's not. And I've learned that I have a bad habit of hiding, not physically hiding, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally hiding, especially when I don't want to deal with something. And wasn't that Adam? Adam had made probably the greatest snafu of all time. And he hid. Not that God didn't see him. God knew where he was. He looked right at him. But Adam, your mind is not the same towards me. Something's different, Adam. There's a disconnect. You aren't depending on me, Adam. Where are you? What's going on with you? Adam hid behind a tree, but you and I, we hide behind success, our jobs, our money, our women. We hide behind the cultural standards of success. We hide behind humor and anger, and I'm okay. I'm good. We hide behind that. And I'm asking today, where are you, man? What are you hiding from? What is that 38 hiding? Now, I'm a man. We're men, so we're prideful. We don't. Sometimes that pridefulness translates into private, being a private person. So we don't really vocalize a lot of our things. But ask yourself, within your own heart, where are you? What a scary question. What a sobering question. Where are you? I've had so many amazing men in my life. So many amazing men, man. And you hear my voice, but it's really them speaking. Men who saw me, not just as I stood before them in the physical and in that specific place and time, but they saw my future, saw my destiny, saw what I could be, my potential. They invested in me. They took the time to give. They took the time to talk, to listen, to point, to direct, to lead. And I'm so humbled to be able to even be heard by one of you, because God knows I owe so much to so many men. And this is my way of paying it back. But this is not a place of daycare and cuddly feelings. This is extreme accountability, brothers. You to me and me to you, and us to each other. This is a place of uncomfortable conversations, of raw conversations. It's a place of healing, a place of surgery, a place of sharing. And as long as we are hiding, we will not get the benefits of that. This won't grow to become what it could be. So again, I ask, where are you? Where's your mind? Where's your desires? Where's your penis? Where's your money? Where's your heart? When you send the truck and send the car and just stare after a long day's work, where do you go mentally? Where's your dreams, your purpose, your desires? Where are you? Where's your vote? Where's your idea? Where's your prayer life? Where are you? As we trek this journey together, it's imperative that we stay in contact and stay in knowing where we are. If we know where we are, we know where we can find us. And when we can find ourselves, then we can see the conditions we're in, how we're living, how we are moving. We can see the ailments, the good, the bad. God asks Adam, where are you? Not because I want to judge you. Not because I want to fuss at you. Not because I want to whoop you or beat you or hurt you. I'm your father. I'm your boy. We good. But I notice you're missing. And in my life, I've been missing from God and from myself several times, several seasons. Ask yourself, where are you? I love you, man. We'll speak too.